Hello friends, God bless you. Have you ever wondered that sometimes we are taught but we never learn? Or sometimes when we hear but we don't listen? And when that happens, it brings the life-changing consequences. And then we question God. Is God faithful? Or what happened to God's promises? It's a beautiful story in Old Testament. 1 King chapter 11, 12, 13 if you read. It's a story about the United Kingdom, United Nation. Israel was split into two nations, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom. Well, Solomon was the king after King David for entire Israel. But he did not follow God wholeheartedly. And then one of his servants was Jeroboam. The prophet Ahijah comes to Jeroboam and he gives him this message from God that, look, Jeroboam, I am taking away the 10 tribes from Solomon, and then I am going to make you a king over 10 tribes. And God gave a reason why God is doing that. God says that because Solomon was not fully committed to God. But also God told Jeroboam that because he has given his promise to David, he is going to leave one tribe under the rulership of Solomon and his descendants. So God is telling him the reason why he is taking away 10 tribes. And also God is reminding him that he is faithful to keep his promise. And then God gives very clear instructions to Jeroboam that, look, if you follow like my servant David followed me, I will establish your kingdom forever. Now think about that. King David is given one tribe to rule, and God is giving 10 tribes to Jeroboam to rule. Tenfold. And God also said that as I have promised, and I have kept my promise for King David, I will make your kingdom established. You can rule over people whatever your heart desires. What a great promise God is giving him to Jeroboam. Now, you might think that Jeroboam was so good, so humble. Bible doesn't say that. God selected him to rule over 10 tribes. And you might be thinking in your life that you don't have something that God would select you. Friends, that's not the case. It's not our performance, but it is the love of God for you and me that he selects us for certain things to bless us. And as God said, Jeroboam became the king. He was told why he got 10 tribes. Did he learn? God has given him clear instructions that you need to just follow, just like King David. Did he hear that? Did he listen to that? No. When he became king over 10 tribes, he made a drastic change. The place of worship was Jerusalem. He changed it to Bethel and Dan. There were Levites. The tribe of Levites only was selected to be priest. Jeroboam selected his own priest. God of Israel was Jehovah who delivered them out of bondage. He made 2 golden calves and said that these are the gods of Israel who delivered you out of bondage. And not only that, God has established a special festival to celebrate and follow. He established his own celebration and festivities. And we know that what happens. There was a great blessing that God said that you will rule just like David on 10 tribes. I will establish your kingdom. But it did not come, that promise was not fulfilled. Not because God did not keep the promise. God has asked simply one thing. Jeroboam, follow me as my servant King David followed me. See, when he became king, he did not remember what God has said. He has heard, but he never listened. He was taught, but he never learned. You may find yourself in a situation, may not be just like as bad as Jeroboam, but God has taught you something. God has fulfilled his promise in your life. And God has said certain things to you. May not be that you might have just heard but not listened. You are taught but you have never learned. I hope God is a God of grace and restoration. If you pay attention what he has said, if you pay attention what he has taught you, just trust him. Just trust him. Don't rely on your own wisdom. Don't rely on your own understanding. Because God is a promise keeper. And he will establish whatever he has promised you forever. Because he loves you. May God bless you. Thank you.